Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there.
I
want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Social Media Cowboys. If your business is looking to grow in 2022 and the years to come, then look no further than Social Media Cowboys. They are a complete online marketing agency helping clients with everything from social media to website design to SEO to Google Ads and so much more. With close to 40 years of combined experience online, they have been helping businesses like mine and yours succeed where other agencies have failed. They apply a practical approach that saves you money while making money. Contact them today to get started. Socialmediacowboys.com. In the real world, they're geeks, but online, they're cowboys. Howdy, and welcome back to the Confidence Through Health podcast. This is your host, Jerry Snyder. I wanted to do a brief episode today on warning signs. And it really came about because of two things that have happened to me recently. One, I recently took a trip to Colorado and, flying out there and then saw some family, ran a race and got to see some sights. And then another totally contrasting, totally completely different thing is that lost a big branch. I mean, I'm talking it's probably like a good 10 inches in diameter, maybe more, off of a tree in our front yard that happened actually last night because a big storm system came through and tons of wind, and woke up this morning, the wind was still blowing over 20 miles an hour. And so this big branch with, that extended out, of course, it's all laying down on the ground. But then it correlates to your health. And so I'm going to get there. So the trip, when you go on a trip, you go on a plane, there's warning signs, right? There's the warning sign to fasten your seatbelt, put your tray tables up, all that stuff, right? And so they're always warning you like, oh, hey, we're going to hit some turbulence, right? Most of the time they're able to warn you that. Sometimes it happens, rarely nowadays, it happens when nobody knows and it's just like, whoa, hey, we hit turbulence. But most of the time they know it's coming. They hit the warning button. They hit warnings. You hear the ding ding. They're warning you. They're warning you when you come to the end of the flight. Put everything back to where it goes because we're getting ready to land. There's warning signs all over the place, right? We went up into the mountains. My cousin took me up into the mountains. There's warning signs on the road, like, hey, this is a steep cliff. This is a big turn coming. When you're going downhill, slow down, da, 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 da. All the warning signs that are there to protect you, right? Because if they're not there, you're not paying attention, you could get hurt, right? If you're in the plane and there was no warning sign or no warning from anybody to put your seatbelt on, and say you fell asleep, you took your seatbelt off to get more comfortable, and you were still asleep when the plane lands. And if, it's like the plane I was on this past weekend, he hit the brakes pretty hard. Woo, we came flying forward. And if you didn't have your seatbelt on, you would have slammed into the seat in front of you. And so there's warning signs that are there for our benefit, right? The warning sign on this tree was that 2 winters ago, when we had a really harsh freeze in most of the southern states of the U.S., that was, I would say, unprecedented, but I don't know. It may have been something that was happened, before I was born. I don't ever remember something happening that harsh. But it basically started to kill this tree because the freeze was so long, I think, what was it I can't remember how many days it was that we were, below freezing. It was 7 or 8 days, something like that. And so it basically killed this tree, but the tree's still standing. It's still growing a little bit, but most of the tree on the outside, most of the branches are dead. And I've been looking at it going, well, I need to replace it. I need to cut it down anyway, because it was starting to split long before that. It was starting to, the two big main pieces of the trunk were coming apart. And so my options were to get some wire and try and hold it together, or look at getting it cut down. And I'm capable of cutting it down when I have the time. I don't have the time right now, and my chainsaw is not operable for other reasons. And so I haven't cut the tree down yet, but the Mother Nature's sort of helping me because every couple of months another big branch falls down, right? But the warning signs are there because I know that that tree needs to come down. I know that it's brittle. I know that it's dying because all the warning signs that I can see, right? There's no leaves on the outer branches. We've had the freeze. We've had a massive drought this summer. It's not helping. And so the warning signs are all there that the tree needs to come down because it's probably mostly dead inside. So what does that all mean for your health? Well, your health, there's warning signs there. You have warning signs every day. All of us experience warning signs about your health, about your overall health. Do you have a lack of breath when you get up and do any kind of exercise or walk upstairs or anything? Like that's a sign that your health is not optimal. If you go up 2 flights of stairs and you're huffing and puffing and you can't catch your breath, your health is not optimal. Okay? That's a warning sign. It may not mean that something big is happening right now, right? Like it could mean shortness of breath it is one of the key factors or key warning signs of a heart attack. But just because you walk up 2 flights of stairs and you're short of breath doesn't mean that you're having a heart attack right then. It's a warning sign that you could be not in optimal health. Right? And so there's a lot of these warning signs that we see. You know, one of the warning signs for dehydration. If you wake up in the morning and you've got like lines all over your body from where the sheets were, you know, up against you and those lines take forever to go away, that's a dehydration warning sign. Okay? Because your skin is not hydrated enough to flow back to normal after being, you know, pressed into a certain way or a certain format. And so all these warning signs, some of them could be big, huge. Like I said, warning signs for a stroke or a heart attack, or those things are big and huge. Having a spot show up on your skin is a warning sign that you could have cancer. You could have some other skin rash or irritation. And if you don't take care of it quickly, it could blow up and become something that takes up a lot more space on your body, right? And so we want to address things quickly in a proper manner and with the right urgency. Okay? And so what I've done with the tree, for example, is when I knew when it didn't come back after that first freeze, that not first freeze that it lived through, but the biggest freeze that I think that it lived through, when it didn't come back and flourish after that, I said, okay, I got to take some of these limbs off that I can reach. Some of the small ones, I got to take them off so I can lessen the weight on the tree. And I got to get the ones that are towards the house, I got to get them off. And so I've done that. And so now my choice is, do I spend all the money on getting the tree taken down professionally, or do I just wait until I take it down piece by piece? And I'm taking it down piece by piece because it's not it's not causing me any danger. It's not causing any of my family any danger. It's not causing my house any danger at the moment. And so if I'm taking it down piece by piece, it's just a matter of time for me that I'm putting that through, right? Similar situation to if you're seeing warning signs that could mean that your health is compromised, right? You're getting short of breath. You're taking forever to recover from any kind of exercise. You know, your heart rate stays really high. You have high blood pressure. These are warning signs that you could have a cardiovascular event coming. So what do you need to do? You need to either go to the doctor and you can get like a stent put in if they need to. You can have bypass surgery. You can have, these are all the major things you can do right now, right? That's a major thing. Like I could do a major thing and I could just say, you know what? The end with it, cut the tree off. Like call somebody, have them come in professionally, cut the tree down, and be done with it, right? Or you could say, okay, I can tell my heart, my health. I mean, I can tell my health is not optimal. What do I need to do? Well, I need to start looking at my exercise. I need to start looking at my nutrition. I need to start looking at my sleep patterns. I need to start looking at my hydration. I need to look at all these things and start addressing them and start making changes little by little, right? What I did with the tree, I started cutting some of those branches off to lessen the weight on the tree. I started pruning it back so that it's not endangering the house, right? It's the same thing. The tree, unfortunately, is not going to come back to life just because I did that, right? It's dying. It's not going to come back to life. I'm buying time on borrowed time, right? But you, on the other hand, can come back to life. Maybe not the optimal life you would have had if you would have been healthy your whole life, but you can reverse a lot of chronic diseases. You can reverse heart disease. You can reverse high blood pressure. You can reverse high cholesterol. You can reverse diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Soon you'll be able to, with stuff coming out technology-wise and research that's being done. Mark my words, type 1 diabetes is going to soon be able to be reversed. But type 2 can be reversed now. Okay, so all these things can be changed and reversed now by doing little things on a day-to-day basis and being consistent and disciplined. If you need help with discipline, listen to the episode I just put out right before this one. I think it was episode 135. But it's the little things that you can do. And oftentimes, when you do the little things and you go through that process, it's going to stick and become something that lasts forever. When you do the big major thing, like say you have gastric bypass surgery, or you have heart bypass surgery, or you have a stent put, like you do that major thing, because what that's going to do is it's going to, hopefully, if it's operating the way that the doctor tells you and that they do the procedure correctly and you were actually a candidate for it, all of a sudden you're going to have, like, people that go through bypass surgery, all of a sudden they have this huge change in energy level. They go from being very sluggish, very fatigued very easily, short of breath, to all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I've got energy. Like, wow. Like, I mean, it's tough because they've just been cut open, but they have this feeling of energy because they have oxygen now, because they have blood flow. And so they're getting oxygenated blood around their body. Now it takes because they went through a traumatic experience of having their chest cut open and all that stuff. It takes them a while to be able to use that energy, but they will feel different. They'll feel vibrant. Like, the problem is they don't know what to do with it. You go through gastric bypass surgery, all of a sudden you lose all this weight. But then when you get to where you want to be, I don't know how many people I know that it's a lot of people that I know that have had the surgery and gone through this and get to where they want, and then they go back up to where they were. The reason is they didn't change the way they lived. They put a shortcut in. Same thing with the bypass surgery. They put a shortcut in to short circuit the bad things that they've done to their heart, or the bad things they had done to their body. They bypassed it, continued to do those same activities, that same lifestyle, that same behavior that got them sick in the first place. You continue to do it, it's still going to get you sick again. Whereas if you take the time to make the small changes that compound day by day, to then, when you become healthy from making those small changes, guess what? You'll stay healthy the rest of your life until you go revert back to where you were before. It's with your behaviors. Unless you revert back to those bad behaviors that made you unhealthy, which you won't, because it's going to take you 6 months to a year, maybe longer, to change your health in the right direction. with those day by day compounding those good behaviors. If you do something like that for a year, guess what? That becomes who you are, and you're not going to go back because you're going to like who you are, because you're healthier and your body likes to be healthy. Your body wants to be healthy, and your body's going to enjoy being healthy. So you're going to like it. You're going to be happy. You're going to have joy. You're going to be more energetic. All of these things are going to happen internally and mentally. And so at the end of that process of becoming who your healthy self, the end of that process of becoming your healthy self and transforming into that person, you're not going to transform. You're not going to go back. You're not going to go back because you're doing it the right way. Same thing. You can see the same thing when it comes to finances. Over 70% of the people that win the lottery, like the big lottery, not just like, your $10 scratch off, but 70% of the people that win the lottery are back to broke, bankrupt, or zero money within 3 to 5 years. Because they didn't change their behaviors. They were just gifted a bunch of money. And since they didn't change their behaviors, they ran through it all. And you might say that's crazy. How could somebody? But you would be surprised. I've heard stories from athletes. About athletes. I've heard stories about lottery winners about how much money they can blow through in a 24-hour period, a month, a year. Like, it's when you think that it's going to be there forever, when it's not, because you haven't invested it, you haven't put things in place to make it last forever, you're just going to blow through it. And the same thing with your body. When you haven't put the time and effort into making the changes that are going to last forever, when you have that bypass surgery, whatever kind it is, when you have that stent put in, whatever, when you have that quick fix happen, but you haven't changed your behaviors, that quick fix will not last forever. It will only last for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to go backwards. And it actually becomes worse the second time because it's harder on your body. You're older, right? A lot of times, guess what? Doctors aren't too nice about it, and you didn't take their advice the first time, right? They're happy to do the surgery again because they're going to get paid for it. But in reality, they're like, you didn't listen. Like, why? What's your, which is what I find a little bit humorous about gastric bypass specifically. Because if you find a good doctor who's doing gastric bypass, they're going to prescribe for you a diet of healthy nutrition and exercise, behavior changes. They're going to prescribe that to you for a good 3 to 6 months before they do the surgery, because they want to see that you're going to put through the effort to do this and do it right. And then they'll do the surgery. So that's what a good one's going to do, because they're not just going to go do because if you're not going to follow the plan, because the plan after gastric bypass surgery, guess what, is pretty regimented if you're going to do it right and if it's going to be successful. And so going into it, you don't want to make the changes. You're telling yourself, I don't want to make the changes because I have to eat a certain way. And guess what? Afterwards, you have to eat a certain way. And some of those pleasures are taken away from you. And if you don't follow that, guess what? You blow back up, and then you have side effects and you have discomforts, and you paid for a surgery that didn't work. So it's like, why would you go through all of those things? And why would you go through with the gastric bypass surgery if he or she is prescribing 3 to 6 months of you following this plan? You're halfway there, follow the plan the rest of the way. You don't need the bypass surgery anymore. You've changed your behavior. Just go through with it. So to go back to the warning signs, the warning signs are there. The warning signs are there. They're all around us. They're happening all the time. Right? It's a matter of, are you going to pay attention to the warning signs? Are you going to see them? Are you going to make changes to avoid the massive catastrophe? Whether that's in your health, in your relationships, in your landscaping. I mean, it doesn't matter what it's in. Like, are you going to make the changes that are going to avoid catastrophe? Because that's all up to you. It's in your hands. And if you're an adult, if you're a kid, your parents are going to help you with that. And they're going to be hopefully in charge of keeping you safe through those processes and changes of behaviors and warning signs. But if you're an adult, it's up to you. There's nobody else out there that's going to help you with that, because everybody's taking care of themselves or their kids or their parents. If their parents are elderly and can't take care of themselves, everybody has their own things going on. So you have to see your warning signs and take care of them. So they're there. They're out there for you to see. They're all around. Are you going to see the warning signs and pay attention to them? Or are you going to ignore them and hope that catastrophe won't happen? Because if you look around to the friends and family that you have, your neighbors, co-workers, you don't have to look very far to find catastrophe happening. It may be on different levels. How big of a catastrophe it is, how small a catastrophe. Like, there's different levels, obviously, of the tragedy and catastrophes that people go through. But you don't have to look far to find somebody going through something. And I would bet a lot of times, if you were to sit down with that person going through it and say, did you see this coming? Either they'll say, yes, I did, because I saw this, this, and this, or they may say, no, I didn't, but I didn't see the signs. And now I see what was being told, what I could have avoided. Now I see it. And so many times we're either too busy, we're acting too fast, we're too focused on one thing and not looking at a big picture. Or we're just too self-absorbed to see the warning signs. And when it comes to your health, you cannot afford to miss them. So pay attention to the warning signs that are out there. They're out there all over the place. They're there to help you and protect you. The sign on the down slope of a mountain, when you're coming down the side of a mountain, that says slow down, there's a turn coming up, is there to protect you so you don't go flying off the side of the mountain. Right? The warning sign on the mountain that says no bikers because there's not enough room for a bicyclist and the cars on the road is there to protect you, if you're on a bicycle, from being hit by a car because they can't see you when you're going up the hill. Like, pay attention to the warning signs. Because so many times the catastrophe happens because we ignored the warning signs. And it's, when it comes to your health, it's far too important to not miss those. You got to see them. You got to pay attention to them. You got to observe them. And you need to follow through on the warning that they're telling you. You got to follow through with it. If you're struggling to sleep at night, it's a warning sign. Something's going on. Talk to a doctor, talk to a health coach, talk to somebody who can help you with that. Taking a sleeping pill to get you through the night, or Benadryl or Tylenol PM or any of those things, like, on a regular, consistent basis, taking that to help you sleep is not good for your health. There's a warning sign that something else is going on. Maybe you need to talk to a psychiatrist or psychologist, like, or a family counselor. Like maybe there's something going on that's stressing you out that's not allowing you to sleep. And it's going to tear your health apart because sleep is such a vital piece of it. A warning sign. So I think I've hit the button, right? A warning sign. It's all about the warning signs. If you pay attention to the warning signs, you're going to avoid the catastrophes at a super high level. You're not going to avoid all of them. They're going to happen because life is full of difficulties and hardships and trials, whatever you want to call them. Life is full of them. You're not going to avoid them all. It's impossible. But the big ones, especially the health big ones, are completely avoidable if you follow the warning signs. And I'm living proof that you can't avoid everything. I've had 2 spontaneous pneumothoraxes. My right chest. My right lung has completely collapsed down to like a thin little layer. Twice. Once in 2011, once in 2013. Now it's been taken care of surgically. Part of my lung was cut out, but I'm able to run and do everything physically that I want to do because it's been taken care of. But for that one, there was no warning signs. Sometimes it's just going to happen. But that's also something that's not a chronic issue. That's an acute issue. Acute issues are going to happen. Sometimes you don't get a warning sign for them. But the chronic issues, the big chronic catastrophes that we see and experience, there's always warning signs. There's always warning signs that you're either missing, ignoring, or not taking seriously enough. And so stop missing them, stop ignoring them, take them serious when it comes to your health, because you only got one body. You only have one body. And I want you to have the confidence through your health to be able to live the life that you want to live, to be able to have fun with the life that you want to, but encourage people, that you want to inspire people, that you want to lift people up, you want to make an impact. I want you to do all those things because you have the power to do all those things. You have the ability to do all those things, and we need you to do all those things. The rest of us in the world need you to do all those things. But the only way you can do them is if you take care of your health. Because you can do some of them, but you're not going to be able to do all of them if you don't take care of your health, because you won't be around and you're going to be too busy taking care of your health after you've had an episode and after you've had a catastrophe. Because let me tell you, you get uber concentrated on your health at that point. But it shouldn't be that way. Like I get uber concentrated on that tree today because that big branch fell. And so I got to clean it up. Right? So I'm uber concentrated on that piece of that puzzle today to get it cleaned up. And then I can go back to maintenance over the next couple of months, hopefully. That may be shorter than that, but I can go back to maintenance to get the rest of the tree taken care of. And that's the warning signs that we gotta pay attention to. Because that warning sign is one branch fell. There's maybe 12 or 15 of that size still on that tree. So the warning sign is one fell. The rest of them could fall. So I got to be a little more diligent over the next few weeks and months of taking care of the tree. Warning signs for your health. Take care of your health. Be diligent about it. Be disciplined about it. Have a plan to take care of it. Don't ignore the warning signs because they're warning you for something big. And the more that there are, the bigger that it is. And most of the time when it comes to our health in this country right now, the warning signs that we see about our health are not good ones. Most of the time, the warning signs that we see in our country are telling us that something bad's coming. That something big's coming and something bad's coming, catastrophe level with our health. And so take care of yourself. Listen to the warning signs. They're there. They're believe me, they're not there for no reason. They're there. There's something going on. And unless you have like the ability to get inside a hospital room or a researcher's room with all the technology to be able to see exactly what's going on inside your body at every single minute, you can't tell what's going on because you can't see it. You have to feel it. You have to experience it. You have to listen to the warning signs. So if you're the only person that's short of breath doing an activity when you're in a group setting, that's a warning sign. If you're the only person that has to sit down and take a break during an activity in a group setting and nobody else does, that's a warning sign. Right? Like, listen to these warning signs. Listen to them. They're trying to tell you something. They're trying to keep you alive. Your body doesn't want to die. Your mind doesn't want to die. Your cells don't want to die. Granted, you're going to at some point, but I'd rather that be long into the future after you've made a massive impact on the people around you, in the community around you, maybe the world. Who knows? Some people impact the world, some people don't. And it doesn't matter if you're one of those people or not. What matters is, did you make an impact on anybody? Did you help someone? Because we can all help someone. We all have experiences and knowledge that can help someone. But if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to miss the opportunity to do that. So listen to the warning signs, take care of yourself, be healthy, and you're going to find confidence through that health to be able to do those things. Right now, you might be saying, I can't do those things. I'm not the person to do those things. I can't make an impact on anybody. The better you take care of yourself, the more an impact you're going to make, the more you're going to see it. And I know, I'm proof. I hear it all the time that I don't think personally, I don't realize the impact that I'm making, but I hear it all the time that people are inspired, that I'm making an impact in their lives, that I'm helping them change their lives. And that's all I need. And that's what I'm asking for you to be able to do. And from my perspective, it starts with your health. So listen to the warning signs and take care of your health.
Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out. Her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside. I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me creaming to the coffee to me. She got soul in her sway.